like how at the beginning of this clip it's just resting on his chest like, oh no, there's a ribbon around my neck. Anthony, do you think horsepower is good here? Boom, we're back, and today we're doing the third episode of the Bath Salts Breakdown. I'm your host Tyler with Prison Perry.
Episode 3, let's get into more of these fake moves.
This first one we're getting into is some hair pull defense. Anytime someone grabs your hair, especially your long hair, I'm hoping you hit this inside trip on them.
Oh, I love this. I actually, because of the people I work with, the staff, I have to make sure I know how to defend this because they're not very progressive yet, and no one knows that a man can have long hair.
So this is a solid move in your book.
Well, let's see what you... Okay, so trap the arm, inside trip, and just fall right on them.
It's just an inside trip.
I love it. Inside trip, and look how close their faces come at the end. I mean, if you're not worried about your partner, that's forehead right through the nose.
Or extra style points, headbutts in jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Oh, I like this. Having problems passing the knee shield, just turn it into an ankle lock. Now, this is from Immortal Jiu-Jitsu, who we've seen in the past.
I have seen them.
You're trying to be too kind. Just share your thoughts. Say, hey, bro, this move's straight ass. But I actually think this is a good move.
Well, I have yet to figure out how to pass somebody's knee shield, so I'm actually going to commit this to memory, and this is what I'm going for every time.
He does a pretty big spin for the ankle lock versus just falling back, so it's a good way to reap if you want to. But overall, passing is a little bit complicated at times. Going for the footlock, easy. So... This is so ridiculous. If someone has a Garrett to you and they're going to try and take you out in the car, I do not have enough time to unwind my belt, get my knee in there, and escape.
So I'm going to disagree with you. I think if you could actually get to that point, that might be a valid defense. But I'm going to tell you this right now, as a Sicilian, there is no way you are ever pulling that off your neck in that position. That actually looks like it's the ribbon from like a Red Riding Hood costume shawl.
That might be the secret killer weapon.
That could be it. It looks, I mean, that looks pretty soft, and it's definitely pretty wide. If you're getting choked with something that wide, it is your lucky day. Ah, yes, the classic paper cutter double under choke.
I'm like, I don't even see what's happening.
Heavyweights unite. This is our move.
This is a heavyweight move, definitely. You're not going to see me pulling this one off, but he goes to the double under, then works up towards the lapel, and just shoves his wrist into the neck. Anthony, do you think horsepower is good here?
If you think you have an ounce more to give a pound.
I also like how when he lifts him, he's going for the reverse reach around. He's just pulling up.
Well, I think that's where you get some of the counter pressures from. You have to get the belt, right? So you're really stacking the belt. Oh, and by the way, just drop your heavyweight forearm across their neck as hard as you can.
Now this next one is going over footlocks. It's how a white belt would tap to it versus how a black belt would tap to it. I'm going to say it, very true. This is true that when a white belt's foot gets touched, they tap immediately. But as a black belt, I'm going to let that thing tear off even in a friendly gym match. Now, here's the thing we didn't consider. As a blue belt in the middle, where do you lie on the spectrum?
We haven't got to that class yet for me. So if you even grab my leg, I assume it's over and I'm tapping out.
So you're basically a white belt is what you're telling me.
I prefer the term...
Gracie white belt?
I prefer the term attendance blue belt.
Speaking of more footlocks, if you don't know how to open the guard, try humping them, then falling back for a heel hook. It worked out really well here at B Team.
I feel like if I was the guy trying to hold on to guard, at some point, I'm just going to get kind of like hypnotized by the motion. And I think that's a solid pass. And you talk about locking up the heel hook quick. Not messing around there. 1001, 1000 broke.
Mason Fowler BJJ goes for a flying... Yeah.
All right, now I watch a lot of Mason stuff. I like the entry to that. I feel like that's something I can do.
Yeah, he's a really well-accomplished grappler, so I'm sure this must all work. What would you do better about this?
Well, the first thing is even though it's his legs, he has the head and arm. And once again, you never let go of a head and arm. You just squeeze as hard as you can and get the tap.
Now, I know you don't do any MMA, but there's something you have to know about when you're trying to get up. It's a lot harder than it looks. You're getting punched in the face by the guy on top, and your coach is yelling, you just get up, man, just get up.
Not only is the coach yelling that, but so is everyone in the crowd.
Well, and there's always the guy that's yelling to grab his dick and twist it. Don't forget that guy.
That's like only second favorite to punch him in the face guy. Ah, the classic example of somebody who understands the rules just a little bit better than everyone else. So if your belt stays tied around your waist, it's considered part of the gi and can be used to choke, which is exactly what we have happening here.
Yeah, he gets that thing so tight, but he does have to hang on to it for quite a while. The dude's sleeping. He went to Valhalla, so it was a good choke. But wow, that took a lot of effort to choke him out.
What I like is at first it goes across his mouth. You know, so like you've got like the horse and bridle choke right there. And yee-haw! I mean, he is going out. But the nice thing is, I don't know who's sitting around with a bunch of A10 and 11 belts, but that's what everyone is going to be wearing to their next tournament.
Now, I notoriously think people are pretty soft in jiu-jitsu, and this takedown this guy hits is a nice takedown, but it's nothing crazy. The guy in the background, however, is immediately thinking, ooh, that hurt.
That's what happens when somebody new to the gym comes in and you're like, hey, tell you what, man, why don't you go get this round and then I'll get you next. And they hit that and you immediately regret your decision.
And boom, there we have it. That was episode
3
of the Bath Salts Breakdown. I'm your host, Tyler, with Prison Perry.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget, if you want great gear from xmartial.com, like my shirt here, they have streetwear available too. Check my link in the description below and use promo code Tyler10.